The most inspiring stories from today's leaders in health and fitness. Join Rose in today's show. Welcome to the Paleo Diet Magazine Show with your host, Rose.
Set your mind, body, and spirit to overflow as you listen to Alexis Nehter share her inspiring story about how she came to grow to love yoga. Yoga has helped her in her mission to be a stronger person. Her life story begins with the death of her father to being the strongholder in her family. Alexis' words of wisdom will have a long-term effect on how you interact with people.
Hello.
Hi. Alexa?
Yes.
Yes, hi. Hi. Today, folks, we have Alexa Nehter. She's going to be on our podcast today. Alexa is German-born and raised science and sports educator, turned yoga teacher, author, speaker, and coach. Alexa inspires a wide audience around the world with her reliable and encouraging approach to yoga and mindful, soulful living. Alexa facilitates yoga retreats, classes, courses, and workshops to inspire the true ownership of yoga and a life that is healthy, balanced, and free. She is the author of the ebook, The Clean Yogi book. Her mission is to share the transformation power of yoga, mindfulness, and choice of living free in a way that includes living and inspiring others. She also likes to educate people on how to become their absolute best. She believes that physical strength and flexibility balance impacts both states of mind and spirit. She creates an atmosphere that inspires, results, fosters community, and gives back to others in order to achieve sustainable health and happiness. And also, I just found out that Alexa likes to surf. So that makes it even more exciting to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yes. So
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also. So let's begin by you telling me about the moment you realized you wanted to change your life.
Okay, that was it was kind of a dramatical moment. It was when I was 21 and I was in a situation. I just finished school and I did an apprenticeship and did a 9-to-5 job at that time, and lived in a city. And I was born on the countryside, so I grew up on riding horses and being in the bush, in the forest all the time. But with 21, I lived in a city right in the heart of Hamburg, and my father died on lung cancer. And the moment he died, I was with him, or we were with him, and this was a moment that shook me up and woke me up. I felt, even though I was really sad and confused and shocked, and the whole world kind of collapsed around me, I was becoming really present in that moment and clear, and thankful actually that this happened, because it opened my eyes to live a life on my own terms, to not to feel being the whole time being kind of under control of other forces and being the victim of things. So it empowered me to change.
Okay. What were your thoughts about being the victim?
Well, the victim of society, the victim of my mom, the victim of my family upbringing, the victim of friends, of situations themselves. Like, I didn't feel empowered to see things myself, and making the inner shift of seeing things that there are teachings for me, and that I'm on a journey of growth and evolution and reconnecting with my true heart. And I didn't never see that. I felt rather that I was kind of under control of what society tells me, society expects of me and tells me what to do. Having a degree, going out to party, that's what my friends expected me to do, and so forth. So, yeah, that was the victimship I put onto myself, and I never woke up from that until that moment.
Oh, that moment. What was that moment like when you woke up?
I became very present. I don't know if other people would call that enlightenment, but it was a glimpse of it, I would say. If I read Eckhart Tolle's moment when he was sitting on a bench and all of a sudden it clicked from being absolutely depressed and totally clueless to what happened then, I could relate to that description. And it last to the surprise of my family, who we were all, of course, we were all shocked and had to deal with the moments after his death and whatever happens, the sadness. I was kind of light-hearted and relieved. And it gave me the ability to give and hold a lot of space for my family at that time, which they will never forget. They remember that very well.
Good, that's good.
Yeah.
So you were like the strong person in the family at that particular time?
Yes, yeah. And it didn't require any strength because it was a wisdom from which I acted from. I was resting in myself, and I was just being there and holding space.
Holding space. Very good. Good information. Now, how did this come about with your decision to go into yoga?
So from that moment on, I decided to change my life, and I packed my bags and went to Hawaii. And how does a German beer drinking, chain smoking young woman with 21 gets to the idea to go to Hawaii? I don't know, but I booked a ticket and I wanted to learn how to surf.
Okay.
And I ended up working in a hostel and surfing my first wave on my belly. And in that moment, I had this realization again, this enlightenment moment. It's like everything stood still. There was no concept of time. Like a second was a decade long or longer. It was amazing. I had this feeling again, and I wanted to have it again. So how does it have to do, go to the path of yoga? I came back from Hawaii from 3 months, having a great time and finding my practice, my spiritual practice of being in the water, being in nature. With 21, you must imagine, I was so unfit. I was lying next to this Hawaiian girl, surfing, beautiful, and I was coughing my lungs out, falling in the water, sliding off the board, and had really to conquer my ego to get over it, to look like a really, helpless and clueless and unfit. But it was a really good teaching for me. So I came back to Germany and I decided, okay, movement and breathing and being outside changed my life. So I want to teach that. I want to share that with others, because if I can change my life in that way, from wearing just black clothes and going to goth metal concerts to wearing colorful clothes and having a tan and really feeling really great about myself, I want to share that with others. So I started studying physical education. And I was the beginner in the studies of physical education. I was the one who didn't know what a pass was in basketball. I couldn't even catch a ball. I had to work really hard to do gymnastics and swimming and all that. I worked really, really hard, but I was always open to have the beginner's mind. I said to myself, it's fine. I may look really stupid, but I do it for a reason, because I want to take those who think they look stupid onto my journey and show them it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to be not fit. It's okay. So I can put myself into the shoes of someone who is not already flexible and strong and whatnot. So in these studies of sports, I exercised a lot and I needed rest. It was quite overwhelming as well. So I ended up in a yoga class. And it was a Kundalini yoga class, and I don't know, have you done Kundalini yoga before?
No, I haven't. No.
It's a little bit different to what you know or what you see, what yoga is perceived in the West. So it's not just doing poses. It's a little bit more spiritual. You sing, you meditate, and the teacher wears a white turban. So I ended up in this class with my best friend, and it was weird. Like, okay, there's like a strange woman singing songs, and I have to sing these words I don't understand, and I do this for minutes, and I have to breathe really hard, and it's like a birth preparation course. And my friend and I, we were giggling through the whole class. We found it so funny. But then in Shavasana, which is the resting pose at the end of a yoga class, I was lying there, and all of a sudden, I had tears running down my face. And it was tears of joy. And I felt my heart again. I was again in this moment of presence. I had before when my father passed away, when I surfed my first wave. I had that again, and I thought, wow, this is it. This is this moment of I can find that with movement and meditation and singing. And so that was my first yoga class, and and that was life-changing. So that got me onto the path of yoga.
Oh, wow. Is this your favorite yoga style now?
It has been with me through the last 15 years now. But I have taught it always a little bit, but not officially, I would say. So I did yoga teacher trainings then in Hatha yoga and Hatha vinyasa and all that. And now I just recently returned from India because I wanted to really solidify and consolidate my Kundalini yoga style or teachings and officially teach it because, so I did that. And I teach it now officially, but I have taught it for years now as well, always integrated in my classes.
Okay. Now, what was the vision that you had for yourself when you were just starting your career in yoga?
It was, the vision is to help those who think that they're not part of the club.
Okay.
That I make them realize that they are the club.
Okay, I like that.
So that they are the ones who are doing yoga. And if you simply close your eyes and you don't look at the posh magazines and the Instagram pictures and all that, you are the yoga. And your yoga is like surfing on the mat, being exposed to nature and the universe versus forces. That's my vision. And it clicked because I started to have faith in the practice. That was the moment where I realized that is my path. I believe it. And I'm not a religious person. I never grew up like this. And I realized then that is what faith is about. Yeah. I understand now.
Oh, okay. How would you describe faith in your own words?
It's an inner knowing. It's an inner knowing of and a surrender to a knowing that is passed on to you. So it's both. On one side, you have to believe. You have to surrender and say, okay, I listen to the teachers that have been before me who teaching me, who gave me these technologies and these tools to come to a more present me. But also, and that's what I teach, is that I am my best teacher. That's faith for me.
That's faith. Now, going back to your father, what tools do you think your father left you? And how are you using them today?
He was described as being like a Buddha. It's really interesting because he was always really patient and really quiet. And he always saw the best in every situation. So if something really big broke or a big work of his was once destroyed by someone and he spent years on building it up, and his reply was just, I'm glad that nobody got hurt. And he was always really inclusive. So he always had the awareness of including everybody into a conversation, into activities. That was really important. Fairness, and inclusivity.
Wow. He must have been a very special person with a big heart. Big heart.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
definitely.
peaceful person, a lot of inner peace.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I know you must miss him.
Yes, it has been, but he is with me. I am him, you know, like that. This is, I think the missing part is we sometimes it's good to surrender and this is melancholy and just feel melancholy and just feel into that. It's sweet and bitter too to feel your heart in these ways. But I know, and that keeps me, you know, shining, is that I am him. I'm my voice, my eyes, my skin. It's all part of him. So, like it is part of, you know, I am you in a way.
Yes.
You know, like it's yeah.
Okay. Speaking of shining, what were the steps that got you from a cigarette-smoking, fiesta-loving young woman? Now, I got this from your bio, your website, to becoming a successful teacher and using yoga as a way to help others change their lives. Faith, okay.
It is faith, and I realized it was one day I'm very blessed. I am mentored, and I am the friend of one of the most respected senior teachers here in Australia, and being so close to her and her presence made me realize that it's my duty to pass on what I'm learning from her and what I'm learning from the science of yoga. I don't have a choice anymore. I have to pass it on because I have the privilege to be in this part of the chain of the teachers. So I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see. So here's some emotion in your voice. Give me an example. Give me an example about being in the chain of teachers.
I can't give you a good example. I once taught a class and I was really tired that day and emotionally shaken by something. I can't remember what it was, but I was very tired, and I started teaching, and I knew teaching always helps me to get over myself. So I started teaching, and all of a sudden, while I was speaking, I realized something spoke through me, and I didn't have to think about what I was saying. It was a deep understanding that came out of me, and I felt that was it, what the teachers have given me who were there before me, and the teachers who were with me in that moment, which are my students. They are my teachers. And the teachers who will be there in the future for me. I was linked in, and I was in a flow of teaching. And it was, again, a moment where I became very present, and all of a sudden I had tears coming up, and I was like, oh my God, this was so amazing. Like it was a beautiful, beautiful feeling of being absolutely in the flow.
In the flow, okay. Now you have been practicing yoga for many years now. How has the practice changed for you over time?
It got from being first very more meditative and spiritual with the Kundalini practice to very athletic, to then again meditative again, and more restorative as I went through my own health, a few health problems. So a little bit more restorative, and now it seems like it's very balanced. So it's a very integrative, present choice of movement and tools I choose on the day. And definitely always remembering to let my ego to get try to get it to quieten and to be at peace, because that's in the yoga community, especially when it comes to the teachers, a very, very strong drive, which I think runs a lot of teachers down.
Okay. Now you seem very confident right now. Was that always the case?
Oh, no. I think that's what yoga and surfing gave me in my life, confidence to trust my own inner voice, my own inner teacher guiding me. And I used to be like a teenager who had colored hair, pink, green, black. And I remember sometimes once I was walking and a group of other teenagers passed me, and one was saying, "Look up," because I was looking down because I was so shy and I was not confident at all. Mm-hmm. And now I'm the one who's going like always in the face a little bit too much, probably. Really? Because I'm seeing that you are me and I am you, and I am, we're one, and there's no differentiation. And if there's like some discrepancies, that's fine. That's fine. It's just a different expression of what the universe will show us.
Yes. Now, how would you measure your success right now?
In my private, personal interactions with people, or with
say for example in your diet.
Oh, okay. So how I would describe success is a mindful choice of eating, eating slowly, listening to my body, what I think, listening to what it needs. Mm-hmm. So, and that might be, I had a really interesting discussion on Instagram the other day, because I revolutionary approach. I said, well, you don't always have to eat breakfast if you don't feel like it. Mm-hmm. In the Ayurvedic science, which is the sister science of yoga, the health science and well-being science of yoga, they say, certain body, mind constitutions maybe or should not eat breakfast at some days. Okay. And if there's a day where you intuitively feel this is not my day to eat breakfast, then don't do it. And I had a lot of people responding to that positively, saying, "You're right." And it's true. If you don't end up binging on midday or in the middle of the night, if it's still part of your rhythm of mindful and good and healthy eating, it's fine to do that. So for me, when it comes to diet, it's a mindful, very present and intuitive choice.
Okay, it's a choice. Okay, now speaking of rhythm, how does yoga help you in your day-to-day life?
It helps me, it adjusts me in the mornings, that's for sure, physically, but also mentally. I usually do something in the morning, and it's not always a yoga practice on the mat. So I go surfing, that is my yoga, or I go for a run. It's like bringing breath and movement, my body, mind, and spirit together, trying to find union, yoga, to yoke, in the moment. So that doesn't have to be on a yoga mat and chanting. That can be anything, but it's exercise in the morning, because that adjusts me and gives me a humming tone for the day.
Okay. What are the most important qualities should a person look for in a yoga teacher? I know you've been a teacher for a while. What do you appreciate? What puts you off? What confuses you? And what irritates you?
Yeah. So if you go to your first yoga classes, I will always suggest to my students or to anyone to go shopping. Go yoga class shopping or yoga teacher shopping. So beginners classes are always good. And in a yoga teacher, you want to resonate with him or her. And as you do in everyday life, you don't resonate with everybody. The voice may don't suit you, or, like there's something that it doesn't fit. Maybe it's a good teacher too, that if you don't resonate, that's the person you want to stick with. Okay. Because this person is showing you some qualities in yourself you recognize and you don't like. Yeah. But for a teacher, I always say a teacher who is present with you. I don't believe that there are certain, if there's someone who is withdrawn and sticks to her mat or is not connecting with you as a person, you can go to a gym class or a boot camp class too. You know, I'm not saying that boot camp class teachers are not present with you, but it's about teachers who are giving you and allowing you to be yourself, to maybe cry on the mat, to not. A teacher wants to challenge you, but in a very, very safe space.
Yes.
And this safe space needs to be created by the teacher with everyone in the classroom.
Okay. Yeah, some teachers want to take you out of your comfort zone. And that's where people need to be, out of the comfort zone, and in order to get that inner healing. You know, that peace.
Yes, it is, and that's what yoga is about. And it's nothing to be scared of. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you don't go out of your comfort zone that day. But there will be a day you will.
Yes.
And it's about making the effort to get onto the mat or do a class with others together and just try it out, you know, and not being thinking you're not good enough or you can't do it, because it's at the end, it's your own way of living. You learn and you're making choices. So it's a really, really good space to be in, a yoga class, for sure. It's a nice community too, because everybody is challenged in his or her own ways. You know, if there's someone doing a great posture or doing some advanced postures, they may be challenged inwardly and can't rest and can't make the choice that is maybe better and kinder to themselves.
Yes. Now, you said that every yoga class is different and every teacher is different.
Yeah.
But what is the feeling you love seeing your students walking out of the yoga class with?
It's growth.
Growth, okay.
Growth.
Good answer.
They feel kind of evolved growth. They learn something new. They change in their kind of perspective of life. And it doesn't mean that you're smiling and bouncing out of the class. It doesn't always have to happen, but there was a shift happening in some ways.
Okay. Good answer. I like that. Shift is good. Yes. Especially if they come back, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good answers. Thank you. Okay. Now, where can our listeners go to learn about you?
So one website is thecleanyogi.com. There I share a little bit about my story, from my own story, from how I went to being very unhealthy and totally disorientated in life to being where I'm right now and ending up writing a book about it. And then on my own website, so that's alexanehter.com, ALEXANEHTER.com. So, and you find me there. You find me on Instagram under the same name, or Facebook. It's Yogic Online. So YOGIC Online.
Okay, very good. Okay, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience about yoga?
Yes, for sure. I would love to, for those who have started yoga or those who haven't started yoga, we are all to remember that we are all beginners, that we are all on our own journey of evolution, but we all come from the same place, and that is the knowing that we are worth to remember love, and that everything we experience as an outer experience that may be irritating us is our biggest teacher to grow and ultimately to contribute to a better world, because that's what we're doing when we do our self-practice. We're not doing it for ourselves. We ultimately do it to align with what the universe is bringing us as lessons, as energetic, shifts. May it be painful or not. But we learn to go and flow and accept and become lighter, and making the life and the experience of life for others easier and taking them with us. That's what I want to let you know.
Wow, that's beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Alexis, it has been a real pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored to be part of the podcast.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.